Hello friends, this is Cara-Renee with B.Reborn Art and Healing, coming to you with another fantastic tutorial. I came home from work. It's Monday the 12th and I'm like, I've got to come up with something really good. And so I think I did. So it is a work night. I always say that just because if I get a little haywire, you'll know why. But I'm filming way ahead because I'm going to be gone over the long Memorial Day weekend. I'll be gone for 5 days. So I want to make sure I have content to last through that week and that weekend. So, and into Monday. I don't come home until Tuesday. So, so this is what we're creating. Let me just show you the sample or the prototype. So this is obviously for the Grungy Library journal. I will probably make one for the Anne with an E journal. We'll see. It's a great center spread thing, so I think I might make two for the Anne with an E journal. So so basically it is, I'm not going to call it a page idea series because I just did a page ideas and I really wasn't creating it with a page in mind. But let me tell you what I was thinking after I show you the prototype. So so this is what it is. This is a journal page, this piece here. So it's a full 5 1/4 by 8 1/4 inches tall, but it's got this great kind of cascading, not cascading, but stacked journaling space. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 pages to write on. Very low profile. Look at that. So that's what we're going to be making today. Now, I did decide to sew mine in, or sew this piece into the journal page using a 3-hole pamphlet stitch. I have a long arm stapler, but it does not ever staple the same way twice. And so it was just a hassle. And I was afraid that if I did that, I would probably put a staple in the same places, and then when I would go to bind that in to the journal, it could create a problem. So I decided I would go ahead and do this in such a way that we would get a bonus pocket. So this is again 3-hole pamphlet stitch that's just holding it together in the center, just from here to here, and then I just glued the back page of this onto the other side on this part of the journal page, and then we've got a bonus pocket with 2 journaling cards. So so great bonus feature for this, and it kind of takes care of 2 problems, because now when we bind this into the signature as a center spread, when I sewed this in, what we'll do is we will bind it here, and I pulled it a little bit away from the center so that we would not bump into the existing threads that are here that are part of holding this one together. So that's what we're going to be making. I did a search on my computer for some coffee dyed paper, and I've had these and never used them. They are from Caroline's Musings. I will be adding them to the supply list for you all. Fantastic papers. Look at those. And they look like paper, which I thought perfect for the Grungy Library journal. I'll put some eyelets on there and some seam binding as usual, or some kind of textile. But yeah, that's what we're going to be making today. We're just going to be making one, so hopefully it will be short and sweet. Have my whale tail punch, my circle punch for the divot for the pocket, corner rounder, white glue. You don't need Fabri-Tac or any other silicone glue. I've got my ink, my thread. I'm using this really thin wax thread that I often use for things that are a little bit smaller. I've got 2 pieces of foam because that's the way we're going to poke our holes. So I'm just setting that stuff out of the way. Pencil, ruler, and my bone folder. So let's get going without further ado. Okay, so we're going to set these 3 pages aside because they are going to actually be, I don't know why I printed 3 because I don't need 3, but that's what we've got. So I'm going to set those over there, and this is our main page because I wanted this to be but that's not going to show now. Oh man. See, and that's what I discovered with my other one. because this is going to fold, that is going to glue. Let me take a look again at the prototype. No, I'm not thinking about it wrong. This will show. I'm so sorry, guys. So I've already trimmed off the white edges because that's always a painful thing to watch. So I'm just going to fold this in half, exactly in half. And this also has those background pages from Caroline's Musings. Really beautiful, beautiful papers. A pretty decent size kit as well. So I just love these kind of, it reminds me of that stack of paper. It's kind of a disappearing paper stack. So I thought it was perfect for what we're doing together. I'm going to set that over there. So let's talk about the template. So I created the template like I did my sample. So it is on a journal page, and it is also a pocket. Okay. Now you wouldn't have to do this. You would just have to decide how you want to bind this if you're going to keep it independent of a journal page. Okay. Oh, and on this one, I did glue it to the top. That's why I got confused. So I put it on the front of the journal page. You don't have to do that. You could put it on the inside, and then you don't lose that beautiful paper, which is what I thought I was going to lose this paper by covering it, but I'm not. So I just did the prototype wrong. It's not wrong, but you would just keep in mind that whatever's on the front of your journal page is going to get covered over by the stack of papers. So, so our pages, we have 4 pages in the little booklet, which I'm going to make a note here. We have 16 sides. That's amazing. 16 sides of writing space, which is epic. And I made a note, you could staple or do a 3-hole pamphlet stitch, and made a note that if you do the 3-hole, you would probably want to glue this on to your journal page, and then you get that bonus pocket. So this will be in the pictures at the end of the video in case you want to grab that. So, and I made a note that my journal page is 5 1/4 by 8 1/4. So that can go over there as well. Kind of within reach though, because I need to see those measurements. So I'm going to bring my cutter over, and we're going to start from big to small. So I'm going to fold all 4 of these really quick, and I'll be right back. So those of you who've been following my change in my social media presence, I did decide that I'm going to stay in the groups, but I'm only going to post in the group 1 time a week, and I'll go and visit the groups, but probably just every couple of days, not every day. I'm going to really, again, puppy guard my time. I actually went 36 hours without feeling the need to be on social media. I mean, I did do some posts about my birthday and stuff, but I didn't feel that like urging to be in the groups and be doing the normal things that I do. So that was a definite win. So I'm going to take the first page, and I'm going to cut it to 7.5 inches tall. Let me just pull this down. So I'm just cutting off the bottom here. And then it's going to be 5 inches wide. So I'm going to go ahead, and this is the fold here. And I'm going to line that up with my 5-inch mark and go ahead and trim that edge off as well. And then the next size is 6.5. So if you'll notice, every increment of the height is 1 inch apart, and then 1/2 inch for the width. So again, that is, or I lost my way, 6.5. You could make these any way you want. You could make more pages, which I think would be epic too. I might make more pages for the when I do it for the Anne with an E journal. So that's 6.5. So then the width of this one is 4.5, because it is 1/2 inch smaller than the prior one. So they're going to stagger really beautifully. We'll turn these papers and stuff so the paper is not repetitive. And then the next one is 5.5 inches tall. So I'm lining that up to the 5.5 inch mark. And then it is 4 inches wide. Okay, and then the last one is 4.5 inches tall. So I'm bringing that way down here by 3.5. Boom, there we go. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take a moment to ink these. I'm going to ink all of the outside, and I'm going to turn them and ink the inside so that they're nice and grungy looking. So I will be back in a moment. Okay, just getting to the last page, inking the inside of it. And then we'll start lining these papers up and deciding which way we want these to go, because each one has a different image on the other side. So we can kind of mix them up a little bit and get a cool look. So we'll do that together. Okay. So I'm going to get that ink put away. That hurts my arm. That was a lot of inking. Get, you know, tennis elbow or something. Okay. So we're going to start with the largest one, obviously. And I'm thinking that I'd like that one to be the front. Okay. So then we're going to just, and it's important to ink that center line, I think, just because it helped me line things up better. And so on this one, we're going to flip it. So we've got this other page, which, you know, you're going to have the same because there's only two prints, two different ones. So, and I'm lining that up. I'm looking top to bottom. It's about 1/2 inch. Okay. And then we'll do this one. Okay. And again, I'm just eye spying. I'm not going to do any measuring. I'm not going to get that crazy on you. And then this one we'll do this way. This way. No, this way. There we go. You could use lined paper. That would be cool as well. Okay, so because these are all staggered, there's no clip that I can get in there, which was another reason why it was hard to staple, because I couldn't get it to hold. I had no way to hold them together. So I'm just pinching there, and I'm going to bring over my little foam things here, and I'm just going to lay it on here. Okay, so I'm just going to lay it on here, and I'm just kind of holding that there so that I can make sure I'm getting it on the foam. Okay, and everything looks to still be lined up. I'm just estimating, so I'm poking a hole in the center-ish, and then the top, and then the bottom. Again, not being too worried about particulars. Okay, so now I did this the last time too. I'm going to set my phone on there so it doesn't move so I can get my string ready. We don't need much string because we only have to have the length of that center part. So 1, 2, and 3. We're going to cut it off anyway. We're not going to leave it dangling. Where's the scissors? There they are. Okay. And my needle, which I had a hard time threading. I think it gets wax in the eye and it can be tricky to thread that other. I had another one and it wasn't working so great. Okay, so, pardon me, simple 3-hole pamphlet stitch. So I'm just going to put my finger on there so that does not move. And I'm going to go in from the center first. So I'm just going to get that needle situated. And because we're not working with a lot of pages, it's not too difficult to even hold it in place. Just move that foam, come on. So I'm going to pull that through. Okay, and then I'm going to feel my way. I might have to kind of get closer here. Let me turn it. See if I can find that hole. Where are you, hole? There we go. There you are. Okay. It went a little cattywampus, but we'll fix that. I also did not tighten my strings on my prototype as well as I should have. So we're gonna focus on that this time. And I'm just lining that up again and then going in through the top hole. Okay. And because you're not going through so many layers, it's not really that difficult to find your hole. Okay, and now I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to go in through the middle hole again and back through. Just as easy as that. Okay, and I'm going to I'm going to pull that needle off and put it up here. Oh, this is my frog. Did I show you my frog? I think I might have showed him. He's my fitness frog. Saw him at the beach and my sisters bought it for me for my birthday. So it sits right there to remind me of my good choices for my health and fitness. So that looks nice and tight. And I'm going to go ahead and tie it in 2 knots, 1 forward knot, just like I would do a signature. and then one backward knot, which is always tricky for me. Not a backwards kind of girl. There we go. It's kind of, I think it creates like a box knot. I could be wrong. And I'm just going to cut those kind of like that, kind of short. Okay, so that is our little writing space. Okay, I'm going to give that a good burnish here. Let's see if I can get things to flatten out. I didn't really focus on that before I sewed them together, so we can just do that now. Give them a good burnish. I love this paper. Oh my gosh. Looks amazing. Okay, so that is that. So our next step is we're going to, it doesn't matter, these are not directional papers, so I could turn it over and put my thumb notch on the other side, but we're going to go ahead and open this up, and I'm going to the back cover, and we're going to put a thumb notch in the middle. Again, I don't measure, I just I spy and hope that I'm doing okay. No police to measure, no measuring police, as I like to say. There we go. Okay, so now we're going to bring our journal page over. I did not ink this up, so let me do that really fast. I might have. It's a pretty dark paper. It might be hard to see if it's inked or not. I can kind of tell because I see white core. But I love this. This is called The Lost Portrait. Is one of the kits in the that I'm using, and I love it. Even though it's not about books, it's got some elements that I think are they work well for the theme. So that's why I introduced them. I'm going to go ahead and ink the center as well. So see how it's got the same paper. I don't know what's on our front of that one, so it might be not the same, but basically this kind of old wrinkled paper. It's not cut evenly, but that's okay. I don't worry about such things. You will want to make sure that your journal page is going the right direction before you glue this paper in. So, I mean, not that it would matter. You would just flip the whole thing up the other direction. You'd probably be fine. But I like to be more careful than that so I don't make a foolish mistake. There we go. Okay, so that is that. There's our journal page. Okay, so we're going to take this and we're going to open this up. Oh, that's perfect. Look at that. It's the different paper, so that's a nice mixing it up. So I'm going to be positioning this just kind of in the middle. Or not the middle, but I'm leaving the same amount on top and bottom. But I am going to, when I glue it, I'm going to pull it out a little bit so that we can sew our signature in here so that we don't interfere with those signature threads. So I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to use my white glue and I'm going to go around. So this is our opening. So we're going to glue here, here, and here. I think my puppy just popped up on my phone. She's been gone for a while, but I have her on my, not my phone, my watch. I always love to see her cute little face. Her name was Kessie. She was a chocolate lab, and she was the spunkiest dog ever. She was the only dog we ever owned as married people. And she got cancer, but she lived to be 14, so that's a good age for a dog, but she was a sweetheart. And a pain in the patootie as well. She was very spoiled. She was a very prissy dog. She thought she was a princess, like me. Maybe she thought she was a princess like me. I don't know. If you guys aren't on social media, I think I'll put a picture at the end of the video of at my birthday. My husband got a bubble gun, and it's like the opening of it is like this big, so it's got all these gazillion little holes that the bubbles come through. And then there was another tabletop one that turned, and so I got one of my grandkids to blow or not shoot me, but blow those bubbles from the gun at me, and I was just immersed in bubbles, and it was the best thing ever. So there we go. There's our pocket. Okay, so we're going to make a couple journal cards to go in there, but look at that. I mean, look at that. Now, one could also I'm thinking that I would want to keep this very neutral, because if you put a pocket here, then you can't write on this, right? And it's just an extra writing space. So that means it's actually 18 pages, because we didn't count the inside covers, did we? So we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 16. So yeah, 18 pages, because we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, 18 pages of writing space. Really, really cool and low profile. But look at it, isn't that cool? It would be also neat if you rounded those corners, but I just did not have the attention span for that today. But I'm going to make a couple more for the Anne with an E journal as well. I don't think I'll picture them, because I don't want to throw people off. I think sometimes it's nice to see a conglomeration of all different kits that I'm using, because it's very colorful, but then I have to link everything for both journals because people ask for that. So, okay, so we've got some papers for journal cards. So I'm feeling like I want one of these backgrounds and then one of these. And I think I want this. Actually, maybe I want this and this. I think that's what I want. Okay, so I'm going to bring my cutter back in, and I'm just going to cut these two in half to start with. I'll have to cut them narrow, or cut them down still, but we'll get them at least a little bit closer to size. Okay, there we go. So let's just look at this pocket, so we can just pull all this back, and we want to have our card be smaller than our pocket. So I would probably take this off of I'm gonna have to take a little bit off the top and the bottom, because it's so beautiful. I don't want to lose anything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a pencil mark. I hope you guys can see this is the line of that page in the writing space, and I've got that top to bottom. So I'm just going to mark here about 1/4 of an inch from the top of that piece of paper, and then the same on the bottom, 1/4 of an inch. I'm going to cut these both at the same time, because, well, I better not, because that one might be a little bit different. So let me do this one really quick. We might be cutting off some of this beautiful scroll work, but you know, sometimes that happens, and that's all right. And then this one. Okay, and then our width will also have to be cut down. So I think I'm going to cut a little bit off of the right side, and then let's see where we land. That might be good. I want to be very careful getting in here too soon, because we could get some stickage. I think I'm going to trim that top just a little bit more, just to have a little bit more room. It's not going to make any difference visually. So that's the perfect size right there, because it can stick out the pocket, and then it'll have whale tail tabs on it as well. So I'm feeling like I want to leave the top on that one, so I think I'll just cut off the bottom of her dress. So let's do that. I'm just going to use my scissors here. Why not? Why not? And hopefully I have a good scrap I can make some whale tail punches out of. So this, I feel like I need to take a little bit off of each side. So I'm going to take just about I don't know, maybe 1/8 of an inch off each side. We'll see how close I got. When I'm trimming papers, I'm always looking at what part of the image am I going to lose by trimming. And this is actually a little bit bigger than this. Not a big deal. Okay. So that is that. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to round the corners on all these and ink them, and then I'll be right back. Okay, beautiful images. Let's see what we've got over here for a scrap. I don't really want to wreck these pages because they could be used for a journal card. So I'm going to just look through my scraps here. See, that's not a scrap. Well, it kind of is, because it can't really be used for, it could be used for a journal page. I think I'll use that, because the chances of me using it for that are slim, and this will make a great one for doing my whale tail punches. So I'm just going to fold this way, and I'm going to punch a couple. You could put more probably in this pocket, but I'm not going to push it. So I'm going to just cut 2, and I'll use the rest of this paper for whale tail punches as well. It won't go to waste. Okay. We ink this up as well, and we're going to be almost done. Fast video! I always aim for that. But sometimes it doesn't work out. Like all the videos I've been doing, they've been like 40 minutes, 45 minutes, but it's just, there's just so much that I don't want to leave out that it's hard. Okay, so let's go ahead. I love this script. Let's make this script show on this. And just as usual, I do stagger my whale tail tabs, because then the seam binding or whatever I put on there, I think I'll put seam binding on this, it shows really nicely. So I think I'll put this one towards the bottom so I don't get in the way of the frame on that one. So just lining that up. And then this one, which way do we want that? I think I'd like that little bit of blue. Okay, and then this one's going to go at the top. So I guess we are going to interfere with this frame. It's one or the other, right? Not really. It's just right on the edge of it. Okay, I'm going to grab my eyelet setter and my eyelets, and we'll just finish this baby off. Okay. Hope you guys are doing okay. We have so little school left. So little school. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. And there, during the summer, I might be more active in the groups on Facebook. But, you know, when I've got just my evenings and weekends to create and do my other things in my life, that's part of the reason why I have to choose, you know, I have to choose to be not on Facebook, because I feel like it's robbing me of other things in my life that are good for me. So like last night, I didn't get on Facebook. I got on my iPad and I started watching some of the tutorials I mentioned, that I'm a part of the insider club for Sean Petit. So I did get that out, and I watched a few episodes and started that process, and I'm feeling very, very good about that. Just looking for some seam binding that I would like to use here. Ooh, that's a green. No, thank you. The blues that are offered are not, there's just not a lot of different varieties, so I think we'll use this one. The seam binding, if you're not aware, I get it from my scrap cabin on Etsy. And I have a coupon code. If you use the coupon code, you can get 10% off. And the coupon code is B.Reborn 10. So I will put that. I think that's been in the video description box or the supply list in past videos. So I'm not sure that I love this color, but we're going to use it for now. Okay, and I'm not going to really do any decorating on the journal page because that's something that can be done later. I should really call this a page idea series, but I'm not gonna. I might put it in the page idea series playlist just because it is a page idea, but I just did one, so I don't want to just do another one kind of back to back. I don't know why, but anyway, come on. Come on. So anyway, and then I got up this morning, and because I didn't have to get on Facebook and do all that this morning before I went to work, I came in here, I did my Bible study, which I have not been doing regularly, and I sat here and journaled right here in the studio. I brought a cart in that I mentioned in a previous video. It's a really narrow cart, and it has like my iPad on it and my Bible and my book that I'm reading for my study, and it just felt so good to be back to that and bring some of that balance back into my day. So why am I having trouble? This seam binding feels silkier than some of her other stuff, so I don't know what's the deal here. Having trouble. There we go. That will do. Okay, and so then those just slide right in that pocket. Boom. Easy peasy. Oh no, that's really pretty, actually. Against that door, that's really pretty. But isn't that so cool? I may have to put something on the front of this just for the pictures. I won't do anything on the back, but man, it was such a great project. So again, this is the one we did together, and this is the one I did off camera, and it is amazing. Look at that. Beautiful writing space. So that is it for today. I'm so excited, a short video, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.